So word problems. All right, so we've got 3 formulas here, and a lot of the terms mean the same thing. What is a way to say what AN is? What's, like, in words? What is AN? The last term. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. What is A1? The first term. What is D? The difference. So what it's going by every time. And what is N? The number of terms. This is optional. You don't have to write it. It's up to you. And then what about S? The sum. In today's lesson, one thing I need you to kind of add to your vocabulary is it's the sum, but it's also the total. Because what does sum mean to do? Add them all up. And when you add them all up, when you go to the store and they add up all your groceries, then they give you the total, okay? So that's something else I need you to kind of keep in mind. The sum and the total are the same thing today, okay? All right. Anybody need more time to write? All right, number 1, according to the National Education Association, teachers in the U.S. earned an average of $21,700 per year in 1984. This amount increased by approximately $1,472 yearly. Determine the amount a U.S. teacher earned in the year 2005. All right, so $21,700 is the salary in what year? In 1984, okay? So that's the salary in 1984. What do they want you to find the salary in what year? 2005. So is 1984 the beginning or the end? It's the beginning. So 21,700 is your first salary. It's the first salary that we know. Okay, so A1 is 21,700. Okay? What is the 1,472? Very good. It's what it's increasing by. So it's what it's going by every time. So that's your D. D is 1,472. Okay? All right. Determine the amount a U.S. teacher earned in 2005. So what are we trying to find? Anybody? The last term, AN. Very good. So we're trying to find what it is at the end. Okay? Okay, so let's use the black formula to start off with that. Keelan, do we know what goes in for AN? Nope. Anthony, do we know what goes in for A1? Yep. Plus D, which we know, 1,472. I'm not sure. Hold on, let's do the math. So N is the number of terms, and this problem is not number of terms, it's number of years, okay? So in this word problem, N is the number of years. So what year do we start in? 1984. And we're going to 2005. How do I figure out how many years that is? Subtract them. So what's 2005 minus 1984? 21. So when you subtract those, you get 21. So N is 21. Okay, in the black formula, 21 minus 1 is 20. So that's where we're getting that from. Okay? Can I type that all in my calculator? Yes. Somebody tell me what you get. 140? Okay, what does 51,140 mean? What? In what year? Good, the salary in 2005. Good, Connor. Okay. Any questions on that one? Okay. Number 2. Caitlin, will you read it for us? Caitlin. Good. All right, Gracie, tell me one thing we know. So how do we write that? Yep, A1 is 20. There are 20 in the first row, okay? Kirsten, what's something else we know? So it's going 20, 22, 24. So Kirsten, what's it going by? Oops. What's it going by every time? 2's. Very good. So the difference is 2. Good job. Okay. All right. This piece of information, I'm not going to call anybody because it's kind of tricky. There's 34 rows in the theater. So you got a theater, you got rows, and in each row are cars. But there's 34 rows. What letter is that? N. It's the number of rows, number of terms. So N is 34. Okay. All right. Find the number of cars that can be parked. Are we trying to find the number of cars that can be parked on one row or in the entire theater? The entire theater. So we need the total. Which letter did we say was the total? Sum. Okay, so we're trying to find the sum. So find the number of cars that can be parked. Okay, so we're trying to find the total, which is the same thing as sum. Okay. All right, we're gonna start with the purple formula and see if it'll work out for us. And if not, we may have to use the green one. But let's try the purple one first. So I don't know the sum. Do I know N? Yeah, what is it? 34. Do I know A1? Yes, 20. Do I know AN? No. Okay, so I have 2 letters, so that's not solvable. Let's try the green formula instead and see if that will work. Let's see if we have enough information for that one. So I'm going to try the green formula. So this one's kind of new. This one, you don't need as much stuff for it. So let's try it. So N over 2 stays the same. 2 times A1. Do I know what A1 is? 20. Plus, do I know D? Yeah, what is it? 2. Do I know N? Yep, 34 minus 1 gives me what? 33. Okay. Okay, do I have all numbers over here now? Yes. Okay. So the green one helps you out when you don't have enough to use the purple. Okay. All right, so you can type that in your calculator. Anybody already got it? 1802. Anybody's calculator not giving them that? Okay. All right, so guys, looking at these 2 formulas, for this one you need N, A1, and AN. You need those 3 pieces of information to get the sum. For this one, you need N, A1, and D. Okay, so it kind of depends on what you know for which formula you want to use. Okay, I know that's tricky. We'll try to get better at that. All right, number 3. Jose, read it for us. Very good. Jacob, tell me one thing we know. Good. So you purchased it for $12,500. So that's what it started at. That was the first value of the computer, $12,500. Okay. Cole, what's something else you know? Yep. Do you know how we could write that? What would my little number be? 6 equals what? Yep. So after 6 years, so A6 is 1,850. Good. Okay. And the question says, what is its annual depreciation? What does that mean? Yep. What's it going down by? What's its decrease? Okay. So it wants to know what it does, how much it goes down by each year. So what letter are we trying to find? D. Good. We're trying to find D. Okay. So we don't care about S on this one, so we're going to use the black formula. Connor, what would go in for AN? Give it your best guess. Yep, I'm doing this equation. What would go in for this spot? Uh-huh. So we'll put in 1850. Because in our case, this is the last thing we know. A6 is the last thing we know, 1,850. We know A1 is 12,500 plus, we don't know D. And Samantha, do we know N? Very good. This is N right here, your little number. So 6 minus 1 is 5. Okay. Jonah, what would you do next up here? All right, that's going to give us a negative, which is fine. Somebody tell me what you get. What is it? Thank you. And Paige, what do you do next? What is it? Is it okay to have a negative? Yeah, what is the negative telling you? It's decreasing. It's decreasing by 2,130 what? Per year. Dollars per year. Okay. Questions? All right, number 4. Trayvon's not here. What about Chase? Can you read it for us? Good. Keith, what's something you know? Good. Jessica, something else you know? Not in. What did you say in? Okay. So the theater can seat 272. So that's the total. So what letter do we use for that? S. So there's a total of 272 seats. Okay. Hope, something else we know? What is 8? What letter? N. Very good. It's the number of rows, or the number of terms. Okay? Okay, so we have an S. Let's try the purple, because see, the purple's shorter, so I always kind of try the purple and see if it'll work for me, and if not, I'll erase and use the green. So let's try the purple. So Anna, what goes in for S? And then for N, I'm going to put in 8. And I'm using the purple formula, guys, for A1, 13, and I don't know AN. Okay. Kayla, do I have enough information to solve? Yes. Okay. Let's see. Olivia, what do you do next? You got to do 8 divided by 2, which gives you 4. Yes. You can distribute the 4. Some people like to do that. It'll give you the same answer. Those of you who like to distribute. Others of us like to divide by 4 and get rid of it. Somebody do that for me. 272 divided by 4. I'm sorry? And Keelan, what do you do last? Good. Jose, what's the question asking? Did we find that? Mm-hmm. Is A in the last row? Yep. So there's 55 of them. Okay. All right, number 5. Paige, read it for us. Good. Mariah, what's one thing we know? Yeah. Anthony, what's something else we know? Yep. How do you write that? Yes, you do. So in the 4th row, there's 45 boxes. So A4 equals 45. So if there's 94 in the 11th row, how could I write that? Equals. Thank you. Okay. All right, Chase, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you remember what you do when there's 2 A's and neither of them are A1? Yes. So we're going to do our system of equations. So we got to write out our 2 formulas, okay? Samantha, can you tell me the top? What do I write for the top equation? Good. So right here with 45, what other number goes with 45? 4. So that's your n. Yep. Kirsten, what would be your second equation? Very good. Okay. And Jacob, what do you do with those? Ah, such enthusiasm. I love it. 45 minus 94. Anybody? Your A1s cancel. You bring down your D. You bring down your parentheses. 3 minus 10 is negative 7. Hope, what do you do next? Very good. So 7 equals D. Kayla, what's the question asking? Have we answered their question yet? Very good. You plug it into the top one. Okay. Keith, how do I write that out? Good. So in this D spot, we're putting in 7, which we now know. Okay. Cole, what do you do next right here? Which is? Yep. And then the last step is to subtract 21. Okay. Connor, have we answered their question yet? Yep. So there are 24 boxes in the first row, which is what they were asking for. Any questions? Okay. Today. Yeah. Tomorrow we'll go on to something different. Jonah, will you read number 6? Good. Jessica, what's one thing we know? I'm sorry. One more time. Yes, very good. Great observation. So total is the same thing as S. Okay, good. Gracie, what's something else we know? Very good. D is 100. That's what it's going up by. D always tells you what it's changing by. Okay. All right, Jonah, which formula do you want to start with? What color? Purple. That's what I would go with. Okay, let's try the purple one. So for S, I know it's 124,000 equals, do I know N? What's N stand for? Number of terms. And this problem, it stands for number of days. So this one, you have to use some outside information. What are the number of days in August? 31. So that you have to use some outside information. Okay, 31 over 2. Parentheses. Do I know A1? Do I know A1? No. Do I know AN? Do I? No. Okay. I've got 2 letters. It's not solvable. So instead of using the purple, let me try the, what color? Green. Let's try the green. So this stays the same, so you don't need to erase that. 2 times A1. Do I know A1? No. Do I know D? Yes, what is it? 100. Do I know N? Yeah, what is it? 31 minus 1, 30. Okay. There it goes. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing I always do. I'm going to divide right here to make my life easier. 31 divided by 2 is 15.5. And then I'll bring down 2A1. I'm going to go ahead and multiply here too, just so there's one less thing to kind of worry about. 100 times 30. Yep. So I divided here and I multiplied there just to make my life a little easier. Okay. Tanner, any idea what you could do next? Okay, so he distributed. That's one way to do it. Feel free to do it that way. What's another way to do it? Divide it. Somebody tell me what you get here. 8,000? Is it? Anna, what do you do next? Yes, very good. You subtract the 3,000. Good gracious. And anybody, what do you do last? Caitlin, what's the question asking? And have we answered that? Yeah. The first day is 2,500. Okay. All right. Number 7. Anthony, read it for us. Okay, thank you. Jacob, what's one thing you know? What's one thing you know? Okay, how can I write that mathematically? Thank you. Anthony, I just called on you. Keelan, what else do I know? Good. And guys, what have I skipped? A3 has 18 seats. Okay. Keith, what am I going to have to do when I have 2 A's and neither of them are A1? A system. Very good. Chase, what would your first equation be? Yep. Let's work off of this first. These two A's. Yep. So it'd be, yep. Yep. Uh-huh. Yes. Tanner, what would your second equation be? Yes. No. It will tomorrow, but it doesn't matter today. Cole, what do you do next? Subtract them. Anybody 18 minus 54? Your A1s cancel, and 2 minus 11 is negative 9. Gracie, what do you do next? So D is 4. Mariah, what's the question asking? Have we answered that yet? No. Hope, what should we do next? What's our next step? Whenever we solve something like this, what do we do next? Shh. We are going to have, yes, we are going to have to do what you said, but let's plug it into the top one before we do anything further. So 18 equals A1 plus, I know what D is now. What is that, guys? 4. Okay. All right, Kirsten, what do you do next right here? Yep, so let's do that. So that gives me 8. And what else do you have to do, Kirsten? Yep. So you get 10 is a 1. Okay. All right, Jonah, what's the question asking? So what is that asking for? The sum. Okay, it's asking for the total. Have we done the sum yet? Nope. Let's try the purple formula and see if it'll work for us. So S equals, because I don't know the sum. Do I know N? Nope. I know AN, but I don't know N. Do I know A1? What is it? Yep, right here. 10. Do I know AN? 94. Okay, I know things get confusing, so I'll say this a couple times. I have 2 letters. Is it solvable? No. So that was the purple formula. If you try the green one, that's not going to help either, because do I know S? Do I know N? No. So the green one's not going to help either because it's the same 2 things we're missing, and they match there. So the green's not going to help. So what could I use? I could use the black one, okay? So let's try this one and see if that gives us our missing piece. Do I know AN? 94. A1 is right here, guys. It's 10. Plus D, right here. D is 4. And I don't know N. Okay. All right, Connor, help me out here. What do you do next? Yeah, this one you have to distribute. There's no way around it. Samantha, what do you do next? Good, so that gives you 6. All right, and subtract your 6 next. That gives you 88. And divide by 4. So N is 22. Okay. All right, Jose, what are we going to do with that n is 22? Very good. So right here, I'm going to make that a 22. And Caitlin, what can you do with all that? Yep. Anybody, what you got? What? Is it? Anybody need more time to write? Okay. This last question is optional. Do not talk while I am talking, but you do not have to write it down. This one's going to be a bonus on your next quiz and test. Okay? So this one is optional. You don't have to write it down. You don't have to work it, but do not talk while I'm talking. Gary wants to save money for a trip that costs $252. He gets paid every week at his job and starts the first week of saving for $12. He increases this amount every week by 4. How many weeks will it take Gary to save up for his trip? All right, what's one thing you know? Okay, so that's the S. What else do you know? Good. And what? Good. Okay. Do we want to use black, purple, or green? Okay, so we have an S, so there's no reason to use the black formula right now. You can use purple or green. I always start with purple just because it's shorter, and let me see if I can do anything with it. So S is 252. Do I know N? No. Do I know A1? What is it? 12. Do I know AN? No. So I have 2 missing pieces, so that's not going to work. So instead of using the purple, I should use the green. Okay. All right. So for the green one, what do I have to put in the parentheses? A 2. And then I know A1. What's that? 12. Do I know D? And then I don't know N. Okay. Here's why this one is a bonus, because it is going to be a beast. For this here? Yeah, we are. That's what we're going to do. Okay. Oh. Okay. All right. What can I do, anybody, to make my life easier? 2 times 12. Okay, what else? Distribute. Okay, yes, that is what you're going to want to do next. You're going to want to get rid of this divide by 2, which, how do you get rid of divide by 2? Multiply by 2. So that gives me 504. And then you're just left with N. What else can I do in parentheses? Good, which gives you 20. Okay. All right, any idea what I have to do from here? Yep. What's N times 20? What's N times 4N? Ah, yeah. All right, does anybody remember what you have to do next? Yes, yes, yes. We'll have to do some more work, but that's the idea of it. So I'm going to put 4N squared first just because this is the order that makes more sense, plus 20N. And I'm going to move this 504 to the end. Do I put plus 504 or minus 504? Okay, and then yes, Jose, technically it's equal to 0 right now. I'm not going to write that, but yes, it is equal to 0. Guys, remember this is a bonus, okay? I'm not going to give you one of these that counts as, yes, very good. You have to divide by 4, which gives you N squared plus 5N minus, somebody's going to have to do that for me. Okay? Got 2 more steps. Anybody remember the next one? Good. So 2 sets of parentheses. I've got 3 parts, so I kick out the negative 126. And you just have to use your calculator to figure out what divides into negative 126. So I know it's going to divide by 2. So 2 times negative 63. But does 2 minus 63 give you 5? No. So what else could I divide 126 by? I got a 6. 6 and negative 21. Does 6 minus 21 give you 5? Nope. What is it? One of them needs to be negative the 9. So negative 9 and positive 14 gives you positive 5. So you put an n and an n, minus 9 plus 14. And Jose, now we're really going to do what you said earlier. You can, but it doesn't matter in this problem. Set them equal to 0. So if you do n minus 9 equals 0, you had plus 9, so they just changed the signs. N is 9, and this n is... N stands for the number of terms. Do I want the positive one or the negative one? So that's your answer.